Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. It is Saturday, May 23rd, 2026. I am the DJ Atomica, and this is A Song of Sunlight. Once again, we started playing this last week, and I was very intrigued by it. I like the way that it's going. I'm curious to see where it's going next. It's not entirely clear to me what the overall plot is going to be yet. I think we're probably still pretty early in. The main character appears to be in a society that is on an island, relatively isolated, and there is some fantasy magic components. There's definitely religious themes going on. Though, again, we're still pretty early on in discovering exactly what the contours of that look like. The biggest problem that we had last time was I was playing through OBS and thus had an enormous input lag that was significantly hampering my ability to effectively do combat. Thankfully, we resolved this a number of ways. One is by changing my screen layout so that I can actually view the proper... Hello? Lots of noise coming from outside. My apologies for that. Alright, I think it's done. Where was I? Right. We changed the screen layout so that I don't have the input lag anymore. I also put the game on story mode because I am a soft story mode boy, and the combat is going to be tricky for me no matter what, so I chose the easiest form of combat. This is how I roll sometimes. I'm interested mostly in the story of what this game is doing. And yeah, I think that... Oh no, the second biggest problem was that at the very end of last week's stream, I didn't know how to save the game, and so quit out to the menu, thereby undoing all of my progress. Thankfully, immediately after stream ended last week, I went back in and figured out that you have to sleep in a bed. Now, the game did not tell me this. I had to figure it out on my own. You begin the game at a bed, so I feel like that would have been a good time to give you a little pop-up. Maybe I missed something. That could just be on me. But regardless, with combat mode or story mode turned on, combat reduced in difficulty, and the fact that the game lets you skip every piece of writing and dialogue that I've come across so far, I was able to regain my progress in about half an hour. We are back to exactly where we were before, and all should be well. So, without further ado, let's jump back in. Ha, you see? It's a save file. I did it. Alright, we're currently in the armory. Trying to give myself as much screen real estate as possible on my end, and I think we should be a-okay. So, our current task. Are you the science guy I heard about? I might be one. There are many science guys, but I am definitely a science guy. And Boo! Hello, Boo! How are you doing? How do you do, Floofy Boo? Hydrate, I will. Thank you very much for the hydrate, Boo. This game makes me a little bit thirsty just because it looks so dry and hot. That could just be me, or the art style giving me a false impression of what this place is actually like, but it feels like we're in a relatively dry, warm environment. So the game might be making me feel a little bit thirstier than I otherwise would. I'm good. How are you, good sir? I'm doing pretty good as well. It's going to be a rainy weekend. It was already raining a bunch yesterday. It's going to be raining more today and probably tomorrow as well. So I'm going to be indoors, but That's probably fine because I am going to be spending most of my time editing anyway, so you don't really need to be outside for that. Otherwise, we are having fun with this game. I think we're still very early on in the game. It definitely feels like an inciting incident has yet to occur. And I suspect that's going to be happening relatively soon. It might even happen this stream. Who knows? So, might have that to look forward to. All right. Last scene showcasing Librarian Tidy Up the Arcane Library. I have legit never heard of that game. What's that about? Enter you like a lobster. Look, all my friends get one free. That's the rule. All my friends get one free. I'm trying to learn editing. Well, I can obviously give you my own personal recommendations. The program that I use for editing is DaVinci Resolve, which is a freely available program, and it's extremely capable. When the lore video finally comes out, you'll be happy to know that almost all of the shots and everything was done in DaVinci Resolve. I'm having to use Blender for a couple shots, but other than that, I'm doing all the editing and visual effects in DaVinci Resolve because it lets you do that. It has editing, it has visual effects tab, it has color correction, it has sound, it has, the basic stuff of like organizing media and exporting it. It's an extremely versatile program, so if you're looking to get into editing, you can't go wrong with a program as versatile as DaVinci Resolve, and it's slowly starting to become an industry standard as well. So you would not be that would be pretty beneficial as well. Did you do the art for it, or is it like no art? I've done some of the art for it. Others some, like, we took screenshots in some VR chat worlds. I might see if I can get some other pieces of like fan art in there. It's mostly going to be like visual effects that I've thrown together in DaVinci Resolve with like plugins and stuff. Have to wait until November to cancel my Adobe. God damn it. God damn Adobe. We really need to get everyone off of that ecosystem. It's getting to be too much. Yeah, no, when I was younger, I was big into After Effects tutorials, and so I kind of have like a very vague knowledge of like visual effects and compositing from those days. Adobe costs Boo one layer. It costs everyone a body part in perpetuity to use any Adobe software. It's awful. Okay, so our current objectives in the game are both in the direction of the temple. I'm trying to get away from it. Not joking, costs 67.83 to cancel. Yeah, no. The fact that there is a cancellation fee for a piece of subscription software is egregious and unacceptable, and I hope they lose their lawsuit. Personally. I guess it's a contract thing? Yeah, but it shouldn't be. I do not think that it should be a contract thing. I think that is bad. You already got, like, the fee for that year or whatever, or that month. Like, you're paying a subscription fee for a certain amount of time. You've already paid the fee. Why should canceling also cost money? It doesn't make any sense. I don't know. I'm sure their lawyers will try to come up with something, but I hope they do not succeed. Anyway, so we are trying to find Sachita, who is a sun maiden, a figure of religious significance in this culture, and also I think someone that we might have a crush on. And apparently somebody also has a crush on a Sunlight Maiden at the temple and have tasked us to deliver a love letter that we are supposed to read it out loud, which is fun. I'm glad I can just buy a version of Clip Studio Paint and now it's just mine to use. Yes, a permanent one-time purchase is always preferable to a subscription model, even if the purchase is somewhat expensive. Like, okay, I don't know if you've seen this, but you can get Adobe Substance Painter on Steam for a one-time payment. I don't know why. I don't know why specifically Substance Painter. I don't know why you can't get any of Adobe's other software on Steam in this same fashion, but you can apparently get Adobe Substance Painter on Steam for a one-time purchase, because it's like $100-something. And, you know, that's kind of expensive, but it's also a one-time purchase. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know what specifically is happening with Substance Painter or what's going on over in Adobe headquarters. I don't pretend to understand the minds of that corporation. In any case, we have to find our way to the temple for both of these tasks. I feel like we... No, it is this way, right, because we have a waypoint. I forgot about that. Yeah, if you can find ways to replace Adobe software, it's just generally a good quality of life improvement. Like, I don't use Photoshop, I don't use Premiere. I use either Clip Studio Paint or Krita, or these days mostly Procreate. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize that my PNG tuber has come with a bar. I need to re-crop that image real quick. Excuse me while I do that. Crop pad. I'm just gonna... Is that not? I forget exactly how to do this. Why are you giving me the runaround? What if I just do like 500? All right, we're playing with numbers on the back end here. 500. What does that do? Hooray. That did something. This should surely at least get rid of that line, right? Yes. Cool. Now... Yeah, alright. I can see better real-time feedback in the actual OBS window, which is funny. Okay, I think that'll cover us on all counts, all directions. I'll reposition me next to Ednia Mode. Then the guy in Ender's Chat and bring him here, see if he hits on Ednia Mode. I mean, Ednia Mode is, I think, intimidating for all of us. I mean, look at that stare. She's got our number, and she's ready to deal with whatever we can throw at her. I wouldn't want to tank with Ednia Mode. Are any of you the person that I'm looking for? Oh, I need to read it to a Sun Maiden. That's what I'm trying to do here. Are you? Hello, can I speak to you? Apprentice Sunlight Maiden. All right. Yeah, no, there definitely appears to be an apprenticeship system going on in this society. I haven't... They barter for things as well, so I don't think they have, like, currency on hand. which means... So, like, historically, barter has emerged in societies... it's emerged either in societies that used to have money, but for whatever reason can't get access to it anymore, or it's a practice done between strangers. So, being that this is just a tight-knit community, I'm just assuming that these people come from a culture that used to have money, but they don't anymore. That would sort of make sense if it's like... You should rename your bot mod to Enya mode. That is actually a really good idea. I wonder, can I do that in Fire? Oh, no. I won't do that right now, but I'll write that down. Oh, I'm running out of places to write things down. Okay. Bot equals Enya mode. I will absolutely try and do that. It was a good idea. Thank you, Echo. Anyway, as I was saying, I think because these guys are on an island, kind of cut off, they call it the settlement. It's a settlement on an island, which indicates to me that these people come from an established culture somewhere else. Which would make sense as to why they're bartering here, because they would probably be familiar with money and, like, build their social systems on money, but can't get access to it right now. Maybe that's, you know, more world building in my own head than was intended, but that's the impression I get. Hello, Aram. Good day? Not too bad so far. How about you, Sona? Pretty boring, you may be surprised to hear. I always try and volunteer for errands just to get out for the day. But I think they're on to me. Alright. Hello, another apprentice Sunlight Maiden. Oh, you're Aram, right? That's right. Have you been well, my lady? Oh, she's blushing. We are quite the Casanova here in this society. Fine. I'm fine. That's good. I guess. All right, we might be a handsome gentleman here. Is the impression that I'm getting. Every once in a while, the soundtrack hits like an odd minor key note and feels like you may be playing a horror game. It might be the case. It really, I don't feel like I'm deep enough into this game to really assess its genre yet, so horror is still on the table. Also, hello, Chaotic. Welcome in, welcome in. It's good to see you. How's the crafting going? Are you similarly sipping tea and making jewelry today? What kind of music do you listen to, Atomica? For some reason, I can't picture your type, but if I had to guess, it's like classical or game OST. Definitely like game and movie OSTs, and probably also like classic rock or whatever more contemporary pieces of music happen to drift into my sphere. It's by and large OSTs. Very good, thank you. Thank you for coming. I appreciate your presence. I hope the morning is treating you well. Congratulations on the grand opening as well, yes. Apprentice Sunlight Maiden, are you supposed to be back here? I don't know, it's the path that the game gave me. Well, I'm not gonna stay for long. I'll be in and out. I think I'm supposed to tell somebody if there's a boy back here. No, really, I'm not up to anything bad. Well, if you were going to do something nefarious, you wouldn't just tell me about it, right? I'll be going then. Alright, should I... Sunlight Temple to look for... No, it still tells me to go this way. I mean, suppose that's just me. That's my fault for talking to these people. I don't have to. Good evening. Did you need something, Woundbearer? No, sorry. Well, I do, but not from you. I see. No, I think I'm starting to confuse people. Hello, Lordling. Hello, hello. I am waving back to you in real life, physically. How are you doing today? You're just in time. We're just getting started. Jumping back into the story. We're in the Sunlight Temple here. Looking for... Oh my god, I have lots of options here. Let me just make sure that I am properly situated on the... This one. Right, okay. Not great, how are you? I'm probably doing pretty okay. Oh, the sun's even starting to come out. It's been a rainy weekend. So, that's been a little bit gross, but otherwise, doing alright. Sorry to hear that you're not doing good yourself. I hope that your day improves, and I hope that you can spend a little time relaxing here, and that will help. Let us enter and read aloud. Oh, first I need to steal your objects. Picked up bandage. Uh-oh. That's no good. Alright, I need to read a love letter aloud to a Sunlight Maiden, which is going to be a bit embarrassing, but thankfully it's not in public. It's in what appears to be like private chambers of some kind. That's the hope. That's the hope on both sides. I'll do my best. Excuse me, my lady. I'm here to deliver a message. A message? But you're a wound bearer. Let's just say I'm here on their behalf. It's from, a carpet maker named Abjan. Know him? Abjan? He sent me a letter? More than that, my lady. He wants me to, read it to you. Oh, God above. Don't bother. Excuse me? You heard me. You'll forgive me if I don't want to sit through whatever love poem he's copied from a book and passed off as his own. Oh my god, he's plagiarizing his love poems. That's no good. I've told Abjad 100 times already that I'm not interested. Time to run. Throw a smoke bomb, run out the door. Alright then. Could you at least take the letter? So I can say I did my part? No way, I don't want it. I'll tell you what. Go back to Abjan, and tell him what I've just told you. That should get him off my back. I really think you should go through the couriers for that. It's not my job to... Are you still here? A Sunlight Maiden gave you an order. Do it. Yeah. Alright. Little bit conceited there, but I imagine she's quite frustrated with these letters. Cringe. Very cringe. The plagiarism is the worst part. Alright. What are we even gonna tell him? You need to be more creative? Stop plagiarizing? Let her go? Alright. Hey, Abjan, right? I have a message for you from Ishka. Oh, so she got my letter then. Finally. How did she like it? What's her answer to my proposition? It's, she said... Well, she loved it. What? No! No, I don't want to... What are we doing? This is a terrible plan. But I think you should meet her in person as soon as possible to, discuss it. Hell yes! I'll see her right away. Thanks, man. I feel like this was the terrible move on Aram's part. No problem. Just happy to help. We're cooked. This is not the move. I do feel a little bad about this. But how can I tell him the truth? It would crush him. God above. I'm terrible at navigating these sorts of things. Time to be done with this. What do we get? You get anything from that? Inform the apprentice that... Did I not complete that quest? Whoops. You delivered the message. I did. Did I not? Oh, hello. Can I help you? Is there anything to spare for barter today? I did the thing. Return to the courier outpost and inform the apprentice that... Oh, I need to return to the courier outpost. I got it. Not the carpet maker. I need to return to the courier outpost. And I think courier is on the edge of town. I feel like that's not a good sign. The Sunlight Sister's coming for you. Yeah, no, like, I just... I defied the wishes of one of my culture's religious leaders. That can't be a good sign. If for nothing else, then our... no, courier outpost is like over here. It's right on the edge of the city. If for no other reason than it indicates how eager we are to defy the religious leaders as a character. No, I don't want the brickworks. Courier outpost. Is that here? No, that's arms housing. Is this the courier outpost? It must. Yes. Yes. All right, it's done. No big deal. Thanks, you're a lifesaver. The courier service should really ban love letters. It's a waste of paper. Just say it in person, you know? Maybe that's for the best. Hey, we got some free paper out of the deal. That's good enough for me. All right. All that remains is trying to find Sachita. So all the way back to the temple we go. I'm pretty sure that's all the quests that we had. Sachita, I know that I'm technically not supposed to be in the temple, but seeing as I have already demonstrated flagrant disregard for the authority of the church? I don't know if that's what we're calling the authority of the Sunlight Sisters. Clearly that has not stopped me before. No. I don't need to go up. But this is apparently Sachita's place. Oh, more goodies. Picked up bandage. I don't like how many bandages I'm seeing in these personal quarters. I feel like that's bad news. Malia. Hello, my love. How was your day? Good, Mom. Oh, it's our mom. Thank you. It's exciting, isn't it? You're so close now. Haha. Are you tired of hearing that? No, it's alright. I'm excited. But, oh, I see. Are you here for her? I was just wondering where she might be. That's all. Ah, of course. I should have known you wouldn't stop by just to see your poor mother. Alright, yeah, no, this is definitely our mom. Mom, come on. It's not like that. I'm teasing you, love. She left a few minutes ago. Do you know where to? I think she mentioned the tree. Got it. Thank you, Mom. Love you. I love you, too. Alright, back to the other end of town. We're going to be chasing her all over the settlement. A lot of medkits and chest-high walls don't a cozy game make. Oh, bandages could be a medkit. Actually, no, you're absolutely right. I didn't even consider that. I thought it was just environmental storytelling, but you're 100% correct. Those are probably medkits that I can use at some point. Which also carries its own ominous flavor. That combined with the occasional minor key notes in the score, we might have a... Well, I mean, we know that there's going to be combat, because they've trained us for combat. I use the word train very, very loosely here, because God knows I had trouble with that last time. I'm not controlling this right now. So here we have the plantation, also not a good sign. I don't like plantations. I stopped for a minute and looked out at the fields. Apprentice farmers knelt to work in fading evening light. They looked solemn in their work. I had never paid it much mind. These fields, I thought. Are these fields really all that separates us from hardships? I tried to think of what it might be like if there was little food to go around. I could take a smaller portion. Yes, I would be fine with that. Somebody else who needs it more than me? No. I would be okay with it. Maybe. But somebody else, what would they have me do? What would they have me do if that person refused? Why are things becoming so complicated? Right, because we're a soldier. We're probably going to have to keep people from getting their full rations. Or to only take their designated rations. We're probably going to have to enforce the food supply, which is going to be messy. I should be going. I don't want to miss her. And there she is. She's got the red robes as well. You know, there's something special about Sachita. My feet fell gently in the swaying grass as I approached her. There, in the dull amber field, sat beneath a pale tree. Sachita was like a white sunflower. Her hair fell gently on one side, head resting against the gray bark. Her eyes were closed, but not in sleep of any kind. I knew she was awake, thinking. In the sea of ash and orange, she stood out with a brilliance. The brilliance of a lone flower among dying grass. I'll be clear. I love Sachita. I don't feel the same way about anyone else. Not like this. All right. I love getting paid to not go to work. She's a religious leader. It's we get certain affordances when you're in the priestly caste. But yes, no, I think it was pretty clear already that Aram had a crush on Sachita, but this completely confirms it. I felt my anxiety begin to fade as I approached her. My time with her often had that effect. I was commenting on me calling out today. I had no idea what's going on. Okay, that's fair. Then congratulations on your paid day off. That does indeed rock. Whoa, whoa. Is that Cat in a Bob? Yes, that's Ednia Mode, who, on Echo's suggestion, is going to become the name for the stream bot. Wait a minute, Ender, aren't you supposed to be at a con right now? You have a con appearance today, don't you? Thank you for stopping in anyway. I appreciate it. Time switch to 5. Oh, okay. Wait, 5? Oh, no, wait, that's fine. That's fine. Right, sorry, because Radiance starts later. Cool. All right. Enya Mode is like an old friend. Yes, Enya Mode's been around for a while. Who's becoming a bot? Hello, Liza. Hello, hello. Ednia Mode, the feline with a bob behind me on screen, is going to become the name of the stream bot. Hello, Liza. Hello, hello. How are you doing today? Oh, I should probably get in the habit of also shouting out Liza as well, since Liza also streams. Last scene showcasing Red Dead Redemption. I fixed the one recording and named it funny. Oh, okay, hold on. No, I did see the file come in. I didn't see the name. All right. Yeah, just write out the NATO phonetic alphabet, or no, not the NATO phonetic alphabet. What's it called? The International Phonetic Alphabet, the IPA. I really wish I could read that like formally by sight. Sorry, I missed some messages. So I don't really understand. Ender, are you like appearing at the con or on a screen like in VR? Yeah. Are you actually going to be there physically on screen? Easy. Yeah, because Decade. I I must apologize for making you record the line, but that is how the word is pronounced. Yes, Ender is going to be at MomoCon, I think is the convention, remotely. I did it again in practice. The trouble is that, like, I feel like my font that I chose is not the most readable thing. No, Liza, you're a streamer now. You get shout outs. That's how it works. I apologize for Atomic and then buying that lobster. No, there's no lobster needed. It's like the law. Exactly. Streamer friends get shout outs. I'm writing down a lot of things today. I really should also make the bot do that automatically. Liza. Cool. All right, I'm just going to keep this note to one side. I appear to be writing down a lot of things today. I'll take the lobster. Are you just trying to like move lobster? Are you trying to did you like buy lobster futures or something before this? Are you just trying to get people to eat more lobster? I feel like that's irresponsible in this economy. In this economy, lobsters I might want seafood. You can get seafood, but I just ate brunch. Why are you hungry? I like the Pope inventing Lent. I'm unfamiliar with the story of the Pope inventing Lent. I mean, thinking about it, it must have happened at some point because I don't think Lent was like a thing in the original scriptures. So it must have been invented at some point. Is there a story associated with that? I'm not hungry, but seafood sounds good. Okay, so you just like the aesthetic of seafood. I can respect that. Sometimes you just want food not because you're hungry. I think that might be a indicative of a sickness in our culture, though I could not speculate further. His brother was a fisherman, and fishing business was hurting. Can't eat meat on Fridays means fishermen get more business. Goddamn lobbyists. Ruining everything constantly. So yeah, that was actually a much more direct analogy than I was suspecting. Echo, you are acting like the Pope inventing Lent. It's true. I don't know how you feel about that comparison, but there it is. All right. So, we have to woo the Sun Maiden, I suspect, because we we have very strong feelings for Sachita. And from what I've seen so far, Aram is not the best at romance. So I'm curious to see how this is going to go. He needs a big hat. Well, I mean, everyone needs a big hat. I think that's just not religious. Okay, then I have at least not offended you with the comparison. Atomic is rizzing up women on stream? No, Aram is. I have no control over what's going on here. If I did, I would not have told that guy to go meet with the other Sunlight Maiden to I'm good at that. Okay, good. It's good that we have somebody here in the wings if we need consultation. My time with her often had that effect. As I drew closer, she opened one eye, a slow smile filling her face. See, look, that's her. That's called a wingman? Yes, waiting in the wings as well. I know that's not why it's called that way, but it's coming together. There's a confluence. As I drew closer, a slow smile filling her face. She drew up, her hair now falling carelessly to the sides of her pale cheeks. Aram, she said. Enters Atomica's wingman? Put it in the lore. That would be a very specific and self-serving piece of lore, I must say. I stopped and waved. Her voice was soft and sweet. It sounded much different than this morning. Filling the lower fifth of her face, It's a very distinctive art style, but I really like it. It reminds me a lot of Sivari's art style, actually. The way that they do faces, like as soon as I saw that, I was like, immediately, this looks like Sivari's art style. And so it brings a warm familiarity to me. It's cute. I used to draw like that in notebooks. It gives a certain aura that I can't exactly explain. I don't know what it is, but it looks neat. It sounded much different than this morning. Perhaps it's hyperbole, but I could have sworn the notes of her voice carried far beyond the tree, out and over the hills. He's got it bad. Nostalgia? Could be nostalgia, certainly. We thought it looked like C's style. Yeah, that's what I immediately got when I saw the art. She seldom spoke with a volume of any sort, even giving sermons. It's got C charm, that's for sure. It's got charm generally. Like, look at this. This is such a cool style. I definitely like the sepia palette. I'm not sure if this technically counts as sepia, but this like monochromatic gold. I think it's really nice. A Panda Express ad popped up on the side, and an Asian lady's giant face just zoomed in on her right next to Atomica. She's watching us. Be careful. No sudden movements. She might try to get us to eat Panda Express, which, I mean, I'm not against on principle, but I feel like we just ate lunch. I'll be lurking. Have a good lurk, Ender. Thank you for stopping by, and good luck with the Momocon appearance, of course. I don't know if we have any friends in that area. We should check. No. But it was engrossing. Sort of voice that draws your attention and feels like the sun on your skin. Boyo, you got it bad. Does she know about this crush? She really should. You're a bit far from town, Sachi, I said. They got nicknames. She looked somewhere off to her right. Well, I was counting my steps. I wanted to see how many it was from the edge of town to here, you see. And then from here to the water. Yes, they are on an island. She looked at me childishly, clearly enamored with her findings. Don't you think it's strange, Aram? What's strange? This tree is halfway between them. Almost exactly. This feels important. This feels like something I should know. The tree is almost exactly halfway between the water and the town. I don't know what the significance of that is. Maybe she does? Her eyes narrowed, and she seemed to think about her words a bit longer. Well, I suppose that depends on what you count as the furthest building. I looked back the way I had come. The settlement lay to our backs, roughly 1 mile away. It's the kiln, I think. I thought about it some more. No, Do the sheds count as buildings? I shrugged at her. Is that really why you came out here? Do you think it's boring? She asked, clearly disappointed I wasn't celebrating her discovery. Yeah, a little, I said, laughing. Well, that's not very nice, she replied, running the long braid in her hair through her fingers. I was just always curious, that's all. She sighed, looking out at the horizon. I should really spend my free time doing something a bit more... She trailed off. It was empty past the tree. The path continued, but only for a short while longer. After that, it was simply water. Water and nothing. The horizon, touched by hints of amber light, met the edge of the sea. Sachita patted the ground beside her. Do you want to sit for a while? I can't promise it will be very exciting, though. I nodded awkwardly, suddenly realizing I was somewhere between leaning and crouching. I sat next to her, crossing my legs. How was it today? She asked, turning her gaze from the horizon. You're... what, a season away? I nodded. Yeah. I'm so happy for you, she smiled. You must be excited. I thought about my conversation with Father. I looked down at my hands and at the weapon strapped to my waist. I am. I've wanted this for a really long time. I turned to her. We might see each other more often, actually. If I become a temple guard, I'll be able to escort you sometimes. She nodded eagerly. You're right. I hadn't thought of that. There was a short silence. About this morning, during the prayer, I began with a sudden desire to broach the topic. At this, Sachita's face grew somewhat red. That was so embarrassing, she began. No, listen, I cut her off. I was going to say that I don't think anyone minded, really. It was an innocent lie, but insincere all the same. Right, she has, like, marks from an earlier injury. Or an illness? I forget it was injury or illness, but that's where the marks come from on her skin. Hello, Kixie. How's it going? It's going pretty good. We recovered all of our progress from last time very easily, and we are now kind of on a date with our crush, which is, very, very nice, I think. I bet Aram's very excited about this. You were last playing Frog Detective 2, The Case of the Invisible Wizard. I've actually seen this game played before. That's a cute little game. How are you enjoying it? And a 10-stream streak as well. Well, thank you very much, Kixie. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for stopping in. I hope your Saturday is going well. I hope your breakfast burrito is warm and filling. And I hope you're just chilling a little bit. Sachita gave a small laugh. They did, she said quietly. It was an accident. It won't happen again. I felt embarrassed having brought it up. The effigy was perfect, though, I said, trying to change the subject. She shook her head. Thank you, Aram, but it wasn't. Come on, Sachi, I said in reply. You know it's better than I can do. Sachita smiled a bit. I love Frog Detective. Thank you for the shout-out. Of course. Yeah, Frog Detective is is a quirky little game and quite charming. It reminds me of like a cartoon from my childhood, but I can't quite place exactly which one. It definitely has that energy, but it's so silly. It's very silly. It's like I'm trying to figure out what cartoon it reminds me of. Maybe it's just a general writing style of cartoons from that time, or maybe I'm just completely pulling this out of my ass. It could be either way. Who knows? Not me. Clearly, I can't place it at all. Sachita smiled a bit. Well, wood is easy, you know. It's not very dense. Okay, so the density affects how hard it is. Interesting. Not for me, I said, stretching out my palm. I closed my eyes, trying to remember old breathing exercises and focus techniques. I hadn't been taught any formal archimancy at the armory in years, after all. I fixated my mind on the small wooden figure Sachita made this morning. My outstretched hand grew warm, and after a few seconds, I opened my eyes again. I heard Sachita's soft laughter before I had the chance to look at what I now held in my palm. Alright. So maybe he's not the best sculptor. That's fine. You can practice, and or maybe sculpture just isn't really your medium. Maybe you're a better painter or something like that. Yeah, so they have this thing called archimancy, where they can, like, synthesize materials with magic. And in fact, that's the kind of the only way they can get some materials, like wood. There's only one tree on this island, and we are sitting underneath of it, and it apparently has some kind of religious or cultural significance. Not 100% on the details of that yet. So to get all of their materials, they pretty much have to just conjure it from magic. And they call it archimancy, like architecture. And wood is apparently easy for some. It was made of wood. That much was certain. As for the shape, it was more like a bit of melted clay than anything remotely human. Even had I more time to study the original, I would be hard-pressed to make anything so detailed as hers. God's light, I've actually gotten worse. Sachita composed herself enough to speak. It's a good effort. I started to chuckle as well, despite myself. Her laughter was infectious. I suppose that was because it was so rare to hear it. We grew quiet, and minutes passed in comfortable silence. I can't really poke fun, honestly, Sachita said, some of the brightness gone from her voice. My last batch of practice for the festival came out like that, too. Metal is really tough. I glanced at my sword. It's supposed to be. Pure iron, right? Not an alloy. She nodded. Pure, which is supposed to make it much easier. But I'm struggling. Do they make their swords out of pure iron? Really? That feels strange? Do they not have steel? It feels like they would have steel. Well, I mean, I guess it would sort of depend on, like, what stage of technology they're at. But then how can we really gauge this if there's magic involved? Surely somebody would have made steel at this point. Steel is just iron and carbon. But I'm struggling. The other maidens could do it on their first few tries, I've heard. I don't think I'll have it ready in time. And they'll have to pick somebody else. Oh, we have an ad coming in 3 minutes, everybody. Brace yourselves for that. She opened her mouth to say something more, but stopped. Sachita spoke like this often. She was quick to self-deprecate. I never knew how to respond. I like to think that I know her quite well, but even so... What I mean is that encouragement is hollow sometimes. People pick up on it. And Sachita was adept at spotting lies. Sachita began. I don't want to disappoint the High Priestess. I looked up for a moment, thinking of a response. Well, there's time still, I managed meekly. She nodded slowly. That wasn't the right thing to say. Looking down at her hand, she turned a palm towards the sky. The balance between the arcane and technology. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how it plays, because, like, I feel like there's going to be a magic system in this game. I'm just getting that impression off the bat. Because they went through the trouble of developing a magic system in the story. It would be strange if they didn't involve that in the gameplay somehow. But the fact that they specifically want to make pure iron is strange to me. QuickTime events, imagine. Oh, I know it's going to be QuickTime events of some kind. It's going to be like timing and combat and the same thing that it was last time. But I'm hoping that I've gotten a better grip on things now that I've lowered the difficulty and reduced my input lag. The fact that I was on a hard mode and input lag last time was really messing with me. Looking down at her hand, she turned a palm towards the sky. After a moment, a flash of indigo light came from her palm. When the light faded, in her hand was a small wooden ring. A sun ring, like that any man or woman, a sun ring like that any man or woman would wear. That was hard. It's detailed, sure, she said softly. All right, we have an ad there. I'm gonna wait for that to finish running. I'm gonna take a drink of water in the meantime. Ads finish in 5 seconds. And we should be back. All right. Welcome back, anybody who was in the ads. We continue. It's detailed, sure, she said quietly. But in a different material, it wouldn't look as good. She smiled softly. Do you want it, Aram? It was a familiar question. Sometimes she gave me the things she made in practice, for as long as I could remember. My room was full of them. Small wooden rings, blocks, and other things a child makes with archimancy. Sachita was like that. I tried not to show it, but I was eager to accept them. I figured it meant she was thinking about me. It was a nice feeling. I nodded and extended my palm toward her. Oh, and you got like the leaf shadows. This is very cute art. Clutching the ring in her fist, Sachita pressed it gently into my open hand. But then she lingered. Ooh. Wait, what? The ad break. Another ad break? Am I nuts? Did I not just see that? Oh, I think I was still seeing part of the countdown. That's why. All right, sorry, people who were in ads. You should be back now. I appear to have mistaken the countdowns. They don't differentiate them on my end, so it should be good now. We should be through the ads. Hooray. So, in case you were in the ads while that was happening, she conjured a wooden ring, gave it to me as a gift, pressed it into my hand, but then she lingered. Her hand rested on top of mine for a long moment. Her hand was still warm from the archimancy she had cast. It was soft and without calluses, unlike my own. After a moment, our arms drifted downwards, hands still touching. I felt the dry grass scratch at my skin. The wind blew light. What? Oh, blew light, leaving a warm silence. There we sat, as I looked at her. She faced away, staring out at the hills. I wished then I could know what she was thinking. It was these quiet but significant moments between us which I wanted to know more than ever. Did she feel as warm inside as I did, sitting there under the tree? I mean, we're holding hands. I have to imagine that there's at least some reciprocation on these feelings. But suddenly I felt her hand tense. Oh, music changed. She pulled away, quickly. Her arm returned to her lap, and she sat up straight. Her smile had faded. I have to go, Aram. I need to practice. Right. Pulling the hood of her menage over her face, Sachita stood, dusting the grass off the hem of her dress. Okay, I replied. Stepping a few feet away, she turned to look at me from over her shoulder. I'll see you soon. Yeah, I said again. She nodded after a moment, walking away. And before long, as the sunlight faded, she had disappeared into the outer line of buildings making up the settlement. I watched her go. Sachita, the girl that I loved. It had taken me years to notice it. But as I grew older, it became clear. Something was wrong with Sachita. Something had always been wrong with her. I suppose I noticed the gravity of it far too late. It's not just that everyone hates her. It's not just that she hides her face. It's not just that she pulls away. I knew there was something broken about Sachita fundamentally. What the fuck? Aram? You love this girl, but you're just like, no, there is something fundamentally broken about her. Very rude. That I know. But it doesn't matter what it is. Because one day soon, I'm going to marry her. I mean, okay, like maybe that's just like a weird way to phrase that, but like something broken about Sachita fundamentally. Perhaps that's just his thing. Maybe. He very clearly loves her, despite whatever the hell he thinks is fundamentally broken about her. Not gonna marry her if you keep that up. To be fair, this is all in his head, so I'm going to marry Sachita and keep her safe. If the world scorns her, I will be there in front of her like a shield. All of her sadness, the things she holds inside, I will take them all away. As a wound bearer, I will have that kind of strength. I have a duty to the settlement, of course. But I'm not doing this entirely for them. It's for her. It's always been for her. Oh, it's actually totally dark out. Oh, you have, like, lanterns and stuff. Wow, okay, no, the tree is in total darkness. That's fascinating. Why is the tree in total darkness? Jesus Christ, I cannot see anything. Okay. Kanari. This is our best friend, our, roommate? Housemate? He lives in the same dwelling as we do, and we appear to be friends. It was really nothing, Prav. I'm fine. It wasn't nothing. You nearly lost a hand, Khan. Yeah, but I didn't, right? Hey, guys. Hey, Aram. Oh, hi, Aram. It's getting late. What were you doing out in the plantation? Not much. You know, enjoying the sunset. Oh, I see. So Sachi definitely wasn't there? She might have been. So what? Nothing, just wondering. Did you talk to her about this morning? That must have been so embarrassing. A little. I think it's fine. If you say so. I'll ask her at home tonight. Prava. Oh, okay. So I guess I forget exactly. No, I do remember. Prava is like family to Kanari. Speaking of, can we head back now? I'm exhausted. Fine. But we aren't done talking about today, Khan. Of course not. The three of us walked back towards the house Kanari and I shared. Arriving at the door, Kanari waved to Prava before heading in. I began to do the same, but Prava put her hand on my shoulder. Aram, wait up a second. Khan... He was being really weird at the kiln today. Reckless and stupid. Yeah, he does that. No, I mean, he's not being careful like usual. He's being unsafe with the tools and around the fire. I'm worried he's going to hurt himself by accident. Prava, will you just talk to him? A little bit? He'll be fine, I promise. That's how Qunari is. You know that. Please, Aram. He won't listen to me, of course. You live together. And, you know, you're both boys. Oh, okay. I'll talk to him, I promise. Okay. Thank you, Aram. I just want to make sure he's okay, you know? It's alright. I get it. Well, good night. I'll meet you two tomorrow morning, okay? Yeah. Good night, Prava. Huh. With that, she gave a small wave and walked down the street. I watched her go for a moment, quickly disappearing around the corner. This wasn't the first time Prava had asked me to talk to Qunari in her stead. It was always for similar reasons, and I decided, as usual, not to say anything. Yeah, no, I don't think I agree with that decision, Aram. I feel like you've been making some poor conversational choices today. I had discovered early on it was best not to pry with Qunari. Prava is protective. She tends to overreact. Could I make a choice about that? Alright, I'm headed to bed. No, I cannot make a choice like that, it seems. Sure. But first, let's have a little chat. Oh, you're starting the conversation. Chat? Oh, yes. About? Don't play dumb. You and Sachita were out there for a few hours, right? I guess. I don't really remember. Anything happen? No. If something did, you would be the first to know, trust me. Well, did you at least try? Try what? Don't be an idiot. I'm not just gonna lean in and try to kiss her suddenly. God's light, I'm not telling you to just jump on her. You need to set it up and, you know, ease into it. I know, Khan, I'm not that stupid. Really? You seem to think I'm completely hopeless around girls. Which you are. But believe it or not, I've known Sachita for a long time. And I know she feels the same way about me. What the hell? I just got a headphone pop up. Fascinating. It's just... What's holding you back? It's not the right time yet. I'm still an apprentice. That's what you always say. So here's what I think. Do what you want, but don't wait too long. What do you mean? She's not going anywhere. You might be right, but... You're one to talk, Khan. Huh? I'll tell Sachita how you feel just as soon as you kiss Prava. Okay, no, not sister. Not family member. I had gotten that mixed up. Probably just childhood friend. What? That's completely different. I don't know. Really? It's not like that. Sure, it's not. Hey, it's getting late. I'm going to bed, for real this time. Yeah. Good night, Aram. Good night, Khan. Alright. So we appear to be at a stalemate. Us and our roommate friend? Alright, we're resting. I am going to save. And then I can go to bed. I learned that lesson last time. And it's not a mistake you make twice. 3,118. What the hell could this number be? Was that really true? I nodded as if I understood. Her voice came again from the front of the room. Last night, a mother lost her life in childbirth. Her name was Samira. Her daughter was going to be named Sanvi. She didn't survive either. So now, there are 3,118 people on the island. I nodded again, wondering why the baby hadn't lived. Do you see? This number is very, very important. All of us sat in the small room, brilliant amber light pouring in through the open windows to our right. We knew not to respond, even when it seemed like a question. Our lecturer was speaking, so we were quiet. It worked better this way, and we all knew that. She paused and looked out at the room. Recall that when God created the world, he first made only the ocean. It was a lonely world. He was there alone, surrounded by water. I tried to imagine a place like that. The island suddenly gone, leaving only an empty horizon in all directions. It was frightening. The ocean ain't empty. I know you probably don't know that yet, but ocean ain't empty. It was frightening. So I stopped thinking about it. If anyone's been playing the Subnautica 2 early access, you know the ocean ain't empty. It was lonely because God hadn't yet created his children. So, next, he made our island. Never is, ocean's never empty. I feel like that was a lesson that was drilled into me from watching like old dinosaur documentaries, is that like things might get bad on the land, but the water is like 1,000,000 times worse. So next, he made our island. And eventually, he made us as well. Okay, so maybe this is not a culture that previously comes from a civilization. I mean, it's possible their creation myth could be an error, but this definitely conflicts with my theory that I got from the fact that they have barter. So at least they believe that they were made directly by God. She paused again. But God only made so many of us. He chose a very wise number. She let her words linger in the otherwise quiet air, thick with the smell of cooking fires somewhere nearby. What would happen if there were too many of us? This was a direct question. A girl towards the front stood, bowed, and spoke. We wouldn't have enough food. Our lecturer nodded, pleased with the answer. Only so much of our island can be farmed, she said. What would happen if we were too few? Because we would be lonely, I wanted to say. The boy next to me stood up. I knew his name. There wouldn't be enough of us to harvest the crops, he said, unsure. Our lecturer thought about it and shook her head. No, that's not right. Explain your reasoning. The boy seemed embarrassed, shuffling his feet and looking away from the front. I thought if there were fewer of us, we couldn't harvest and cook all the food before it spoiled. Our lecturer nodded. I see how you arrived at that answer. But no, we would simply grow less food in that case. The reason is that the fewer we are, the more likely that our children will die as infants. I didn't understand again. God knew this too, and so he chose this number. There are enough so that our children can be born in good health, but not so many that the island couldn't support them. Then she raised her hands. And thanks to God, for our island and our gifts, we carefully maintain this number. All right, I just want to interject here with a thought. If Archimancy is capable of generating materials, would it be capable of generating edible materials? Like, I don't know, some kind of, like, flour? Because it can generate wood, and wood is a biological material. So could it make flour? Could it make, I don't know, sugar? I feel like if you have the power to conjure materials, is farming even really necessary? I mean, maybe for dietary variety. Or maybe they've just never thought about it. Maybe they've just never tried making flour. Or they don't have the recipe for it. Because they said the things that they can conjure with archimancy is based on, like, blueprints that they had recorded from a long time ago. Sorry, I keep bumping my microphone. Blueprints that they had recorded from a long time ago when they used to know intuitively how to just, like, make everything with magic. They slowly began forgetting how to make certain things, and noticing this, they decided to write down as many recipes as they could and preserve those. So it's possible that they just don't remember any of the food recipes, and they have to farm. Go off Full Metal Alchemist rules. It could also be that. There could be, like, a cultural taboo against making certain materials. Think about this. All of you were born because we needed you. You came at the right time to take the place of another that came before you. Don't you see? Your lives are precious, and so you cannot throw them away. Walking across the room, she pointed out a window. She pointed toward the great hall that wrapped the island's northwestern edge. It's against God's will. Yeah, it could also be possible. It's not good for my cult to be reliant on me for food. To not be reliant on me for food. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely, like, it's an incredibly religious society. That much is clear. The temple, the priestesses, they definitely have huge cultural and political power. And it seems like people generally sort of run a lot of society's institutions communally, or at least, like, via a guild system. So it's very possible that it could be a control thing, but I don't know. I feel like we're still missing something about this. She pointed towards the great hill that wrapped the island's northwestern edge. This is what I've come to speak of this evening. There is only one place on our island you may never go. At this, recognition flashed over the group. I knew what she was going to tell us. I had known from a very young age. It's known as the Well. If you go there, children, you will die. You will die and in the process ruin God's careful plans for us. If you remember nothing else from your days in general education, remember this. The Well is a place of death, and nobody will come after you. Well, okay, I think we found our ominous tone. Yes. I think that's my earliest memory. Earliest memory. I woke early the following day. Kanari, as usual, was off to a slow start. Miraculously, the two of us had made our way down the stairs and onto the brightly lit street after only a few minutes. Prava was there as promised, waiting for us, scribbling something down in her notebook. Good morning. Okay, so that was clearly like a dream / memory. So there is a mountain containing a well that is like a forbidden death zone. This could be a lot of things. If we're going with the angle of like this is a cult or like a sequestered society, the well could be like a point of no return to the broader world. But no, we're on an island. They do very clearly state that we're on an island, so this well, why build the well if you're not supposed to go there? Could it have been built and then cursed somehow? Like, it's giving off like cursed vibes to me. That it's a place of death. If you go there, you will die, and nobody will come after you. So how do they know this? No, okay. We've got a mystery here. Looks like we have another mystery on our hands, gang. We're gonna try and figure this out. Hey, how long have you been waiting? Not too long. That's good. Well, I like to wake up early. Unlike some in this household. I think she's talking about you, Aram. Yeah, sure. Well, we really should be heading out. We have to fire all of these bowls from yesterday. Go get Scooby in the mystery machine? Can you just the tonal whiplash of this game and the world that it's been building so far, and then all of a sudden 4 teenagers and a dog run through in a microbus and are just like, hey, we're here to solve the mystery of this town. That's a mod. It's gotta be. That's gonna take too long. Sounds fun. Pray for me. Bye, Aram. It sounds like a good time, honestly. Yeah, no, like, I've always been a big fan of the, like, mystery gang idea. Like, I feel like that would be a fun way to spend, like, a couple months. Just, like, riding around the country in a van with friends solving mysteries. That'd be cool. That'd be so cool. That's a road trip. That's an idea for a road trip, is to not go to, like, tourist destinations, but go to, like, mystery spots and see if you can solve them. That would be fun. Maybe we can all get together later tonight. I'll ask Sachi, too. Yeah, sounds like a good idea. So I guess Prava and Sachi live nearby each other? Maybe they're in a similar dwelling as we and Kanari? With a wave, Prava took Kanari's arm and left in the direction of the kiln. I waved back. Taking a deep breath, I started towards the armory. Another day of training, and another day closer to my advancement. I thought about yesterday evening, sitting under the tree with Sachita. My mind was fixated on it. I couldn't get her out of my head. The desire to advance had always been there, but it was burning now. Burning in my chest. Don't wait too long. That's what Kanari had said. I won't. I'll be there for you, Sachi. Very soon. Are we confessing today? Can we... Oh, nope. We're just doing more training. We began much the same as the previous day. My father was generally a man of little words. He gestured, the circle was formed, and we began to spar. Seijin was chosen again, along with a second apprentice I knew somewhat well. Oh boy, here we go. More tutorial. When faced against 2 opponents, you can change your target by pressing left bumper and right bumper, I think that says. Different weapons have different effective ranges. Aram's sword is good at medium range, meaning that it does less damage up close. Therefore, try switching your target to attack the farther opponent to maximize damage. When facing against 2 opponents, you can change your target by... Oh, yeah, right. Okay. So that's the slightly further opponent. Oh, it's behind me now. I see it. I hadn't done it because I couldn't see the controls. Success. Yay. On your turn, you now have the option to evade forward or backward like during defense. Evading in this manner costs less stamina than while on defense. Use it to give yourself better positioning, or to back off and have a chance to recover stamina. Reposition using evade. Use what you've learned to defeat both apprentices. All right, we're back in combat. Wish me luck, chat. Let's go with ba-bam, bam, bam. Okay. Missed that one, but let's go with you. Bam. 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 Ah, I keep missing the last one. That's fine. Bam. 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 Ah. All right. Okay. I will select you. Bam. Bam. Oh, okay. Didn't dodge there. That's my bad. Bam. 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 All right. Bam. 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 Ah, I was so close. Oh, it only makes me do one at a time. That's nice. Bam. 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 Oh, it was two. Whoops. Okay, I completely missed that one. All right. Bam. Whoops. Okay. Man. Wow, I just actually sucked at that one. All right, I'm still getting the hang of things. I'm actually sweating. Okay. Whew. Oh, God. All right. Breathe. Everyone can breathe. We're through combat again. Ashadar raised his hands, ready to call the next pair to the circle. But there came a slight voice from behind the group. High Wound Bearer. Ashadar looked surprised. Standing at the edge of the circle was a courier. A boy, younger than me, perhaps. Hello? Ah, there we go. Yes? I've come with a message of summons for you, sir. It is a request from the Ashan. They would like to see you presently. I see. At once? If it pleases you, sir. Very well. Students, please stretch and practice your forms while I I apologize. This matter also concerns the apprentice Arem. He should come as well. Aram? Father gave me a puzzled look. The boy carried word from the Ashan. They wanted to see me? And my father? I tried to recall the last time I had spoken with the Ashan. Kanari would remember. What is this about? I grew nervous as the uncertainty washed over me. Possibilities flooded my mind, and I took a moment to recenter myself. I nodded slowly at Father. He turned then to address the group. My son and I will step out for a short while. Keep active and await our return. Aram, let's go. Yes. Please follow me. So, I think these are like the settlement leaders? Run, we're being sacrificed. This is how they always get us. There's going to be a ritual, there's going to be a sacrifice, there's going to be some sign. They're going to sacrifice us to create a transmutation circle. That's what they're doing. We walked in silence down the streets. The messenger kept a few paces ahead of us, unspeaking. Eager for more information, I turned to speak to my father. Father, what have they called us for? He looked ahead, clearly searching for a reason himself. I don't know. The chamber of the Ashan was within the temple itself. We came quickly and climbed the steps under the bright midday sun. My anime experience says that to be accurate. No, this is definitely... some red flags are going up. Something has gone awry. Please, go on ahead. They're expecting you. In the test chamber. Thank you. It was a blessing. Likewise. The chamber of the Ashan was lit similarly to the temple itself. Light streamed in through an open ceiling, casting a square beam along the stone floors. The Ashan themselves sat obscured in shadow, the light unable to reach their seats. This was a room that I seldom visited. The uncertainty of the situation made my stomach feel light. I thought back to Father's words as we walked. I don't know. Maybe this was about the harvest. They wanted to talk to Father about the food shortage. Then why would they bring you? No, but why am I here as well? I felt my nerves grow. Father stood at my side. I looked at him for a moment, trying to gauge his expression. His face was neutral as always, but I could tell that he was as uncertain as myself. The reason they had requested me. Father bowed respectfully, and I quickly followed suit. Good day, Ashadar. Ashadar? It's a blessing to see you. A voice came from beyond the light. I trust you are well? How is Malia? Father smiled and gave a nod. She's well, as am I, Ashan. I recognized this voice to be Ashan Jia. Jaya? He usually spoke first, and often carried the opinion of the room. His voice was warm and decidedly aged, but it carried confidence and certainty. And Aram, how you've grown since last we've seen you. I nodded, somewhat reassured by the pleasant tone of the conversation. Ashadar seemed to consider for a moment. Ashana, I'm afraid I still don't quite understand, he said. Another voice came from the left. No? We are here to discuss Aram's advancement, of course. This was Ashan Niraj. Niraj? My advancement? Father seemed as surprised as I. His advancement, he began. Forgive me, but it's scheduled for the end of the season, is it not? You can't run from me, shocker. I'll chase you to the ends of the earth. I mean, we are inside of a church right now, clearly. Dude, what a voice actor. Unrivaled. That's such a good scene. I'm still at low health. Damn, can I not get a heal? As my eyes adjusted to the light, I saw Ashan Jia give a small smile. For others of his age, yes. But Aram is a special case, as your child. At this, I saw something come over Father's face. At first, it was very subtle. My father was a gentle man, but composed so often that he appeared rather stern. It was rare to see emotion overtake him in any capacity, but he wore a face of genuine and utter disbelief. Is this not early? He said slowly. I don't think so at all, Ishan Jaya replied, smiling at me. We've heard wonderful things about RM and his skill in wound bearing. Okay, no, I'm afraid you may have heard an error, Ishan. I am clearly not the person you want to be putting on the front lines of any battle. It will be to the island's great benefit if he becomes a journeyman and starts training in his concentration immediately. Forgive us for breaking courtesy, Ashadar, but you should have known there was a possibility we might move early given your position. Now we know they're up to something. Yeah, no, if they think that I'm a skilled fighter, clearly something is a lie. I processed the words for a long moment, and everything else seemed to fade away. It was time. Already. My goal was within reach, so suddenly. I felt my nerves give way to raw excitement. I was advancing early? I looked to Father, expecting the proud look he wore yesterday as I defeated Seijin. But his face was strained. Strained as if unable to follow a conversation of topics far beyond his understanding. I see, he said after a long moment. Well, I have recommended him for a temple guard many times, as you know. Ishan Jaya shook his head gently. Ashadar, you already know this decision cannot be made yourself in this case. Ashadar's face lost more of its usual composure. Not temple guard. That left. Suddenly I was speaking. So then, peacekeeping or sentry, I said to the faceless figures ahead of me. Ishan Jaya nodded at me. We assigned more than half of the group to peacekeeping last year, so our choice was rather clear, he said thoughtfully. Sentry will be a perfect place for your talents, RM. You should be very proud. I felt my pulse race. Sentry. I bowed deeply. I'm very honored, I said. Father's voice came suddenly. Please. Surely there is room for another in peacekeeping, or temple guard. His voice was suddenly thin and frail. Oh, no, something's bad about being a sentry. Something's not good out there. Yeah, no. I have a feeling we're going to be going to the well at some point. Hearing it was like submerging one's head into cold water. Something you are wholly unprepared for, no matter how trivial the idea seemed beforehand. Why does he sound so... Come now, Ashadar, said Ashan Niraj. This is where he is needed. Don't you trust the way of things? I know that you do. My father stood very still, and after a long moment, he nodded. We're being drafted into the Scouts and AOT. That is kind of the impression that I'm getting here, that, like, something about being a sentry is way more dangerous than it appears at first blush. You do also get the same feelings of like a sequestered society that's like very regimented. After a long moment, he nodded and bowed his head. I do. Before I knew what was happening, Father and I were walking toward the base of the great hill. I realized then that I was meant to begin immediately, and immediately meant now. The daylight was beginning to thin. He walked ahead, and I followed. He was silent. I was similarly speechless, the shock of knowing I was advancing to journeyman early still washing over me. However, Father's reaction, it wasn't what I was expecting. What do I want him to say? To congratulate me, at least. That's what I had expected. This was a big day. The most important day of my life so far. Why won't he say anything? Our destination quickly drew near. Okay, we're just on top of things? Aram. I... What do you know about the well? I called it. This is related to the well. Also, cool bell tower in the background there. I'm really liking that. The well. I know only what they told us in General Ed, I guess. Tell me. Okay. It's a forbidden place. We're not supposed to enter. What else? And it's where our enemies live. That's true. What are they called? Enemies? Wait a minute. Ancestors. Yes. They wish us harm. Always. This is a necessity of our obligation. Of the 3 concentrations a wound bearer can take, this is by far the most important. If I knew that this would be... I didn't realize there would be so little time to prepare you. What do you... I've always known Sentry was a possibility. I haven't seen one before. An ancestor, I mean. I've only heard them described. The fact that they call them ancestors and that they're enemies, this is very interesting. I feel like there's something world building in this. I've only heard them described. Yes. And you may never see one. But you are a sentry now. This is your duty to the settlement. Right. I'm ready for anything. Where we are standing now, no ancestor may make it past this platform. You must destroy them before they get here. Under no circumstances may they be allowed to enter the settlement. Of course. I understand, Father. I'm ready, really. You've been preparing me all this time, right? Aram, I had hoped... Never mind. It's time to begin. With that, we entered the large passageway. I didn't know what to expect. I hadn't set foot in here in a long time. Not since... I don't recall. Hillside Tunnel. What? Who are you? You won't let me talk? Okay. I guess we're just going this way. That's the wrong way. Oh, did I come in this way? Alright, that wasn't clear. We're going out this way. We approached a group of 3 young men. They were sentries. Journeyman sentries. Older than myself, it seemed. They sat around what seemed like a fire pit, not presently lit. Ugh. Sorry, I had to sneeze for a second there. The first, a tall boy with short hair, stood and bowed to address Father. Hello. Hi, everyone. You call that short hair? Interesting. Hello, sir. Kian. Kian? I like Kian better. We were told to expect a 4th. This is Aram. He was scheduled to advance at the end of this season. However, it was decided he would begin training as a sentry immediately. Oh, I see. Hello. I think maybe we've met before. Maybe. My name is Kian. The second boy stood and bowed similarly to the first. The third, appearing as the oldest, remained seated. Instead, he nodded in my direction. My name is Tala. It's a blessing to meet you. I look forward to serving with you, Aram. Likewise. This is Rayash, by the way. Hey. The 3 began to converse quietly, and I turned back to look at Father. He stood very still, his gaze distant. I followed his eyes and properly considered my surroundings for the first time. It was there, perhaps 200 feet ahead of me. The great stone doorway. They were swung wide, far too heavy to move. Plainly carved, with little detail, the entrance to the well. Something about it, the color, and the materials of the door. It felt wrong. It stood out from its surroundings, fundamentally. I felt the doorway watching me. I felt it begin to creep into me. From every corner of my gaze. So this was that place. That place we were never supposed to enter. Sometimes it was easy to forget that the well was there at all. It seldom came up, even in stories, and less so in daily conversation. But even so, we all knew. I'm here all the same, I suppose. Okay, so they've got ruins. We're surrounded by ruins here, which is interesting because the settlement appears to be in perfectly good condition. We have Archimancy, so in theory we could have repaired these ruins. Why are they still ruins? Aram, I must take my leave. I understand. I am prepared. You've given me everything I need. Aram, please, listen to what they have to teach you. We'll talk more about this tonight. At this, Father wrapped his arms around me. He embraced me for a long moment. I was startled more than anything else. I couldn't recall the last time he had hugged me. But before long, he was gone. Giving me one last nod, he disappeared beyond the mouth of the entrance tunnel. The three returned to their seats around the empty fire pit. Tala, the middle in both height and stature of the other two sentries, waved me over. I'm going to go with politics. Could be politics. Could also be that this region could be sacred. Could also be the opposite of sacred. It could be considered like profane or evil. For whatever reason, they don't want to have people out here working on it. I mean, they've got us sentries out here standing guard against whatever the hell might come out of those doors. I took a seat by them. Well, I suppose we should go over the shifts. Right. I'm sure you know some of this already, Aram. Aram. Not really. I've heard about it from some of the journeymen, but I think Father really wanted me to become a temple guard. Just sounds like politics. I mean, fair enough. Politics, religion, they overlap, as they are wont to do. He wouldn't tell me much about the sentries. Really? Well, no matter. I'll start from the top. Our job is essentially to watch the well at every hour of every day. But we need to sleep too, of course. So we, the sentries, watch the well in shifts. Right. 3 of us. Oh, well, 4 now. We watch the well from mid-afternoon to about past sunset. Just watch? Yeah. It's the majority of what we do. Just sit and watch. But what about the ancestors? Honestly, they don't attack very often. Sometimes we go a year without seeing a single one. And even then, they show up half dead already. I see. But what if they do attack? Well, you're the youngest, so you stay behind and out of harm's way. Until you get a feel for how to handle them, that is. I couldn't do that. I would be there at the front with you all. Don't worry, Aram. We won't think you're cowardly or anything. That's how it works when we train new sentries. Yeah, don't sweat it. We all went through something similar. All right, then. I can do that. There is something else you should know. It's a part of your duty as a sentry. Oh? The well. There's a reason we're forbidden from entering. If you go into the well, I remember, I'll die. Without a doubt. Right. It's true. If for any reason one of us fell down there by mistake, we are not permitted to attempt any sort of rescue. Not permitted. Okay. That's different from not able. That person is considered dead. Considered dead. All right. No, this is something deeper. This is not merely like it's like poisonous or something. There's cultural significance to this place. They are dead. What? Why? That's just the way it is. Come now. We're wound bearers. Remember what they taught us, right? We have a fire inside ourselves. Our lives are important. And we don't lose them. That won't ever happen. Don't be afraid. Okay, yeah. I get it. You don't need to worry about me. I won't get in the way. Of course not. We're glad to have you, Aram. The three of us were getting pretty bored with each other. That much is for sure. Yeah, you can't imagine having to stare at Rayesh's face for hours on end each day. Yeah. Wait, what? Screw you. Like you're such a ray of light. Hearing you tell the same 3 goddamn stories over and over again. At least I have something interesting to talk about. They seem like decent folk. Yeah, no, I was expecting, like... I was expecting much more, like, either grizzled or traumatized people here on this post, but no, like, besides the, abandonment thing, no, that's, like, there's some fucked shit happening in that well. That's like a sociocultural coping mechanism or something. Something is down that well. I'm telling you what I think is going to happen now. I think... I think probably our crush is going to fall down that well at some point. Sachita. I think Sachita is going to fall down the well at some point. And we are going to go in after her. I think it's going to be a sort of like entering the underworld sort of story. It's just my guess, as things are right now. I could be wrong. Rayash grew red in the face and began shouting, the banter devolving quickly. I looked at Tala, who was laughing at the childish display. I couldn't help but laugh either. So this is how I would spend my days from now on. Here with these 3, under the evening sun. It was an odd feeling all at once. I mean, provided things don't go wrong, not a bad career. We have an ad starting in 3 minutes, everybody. Brace yourselves for that. It's not a bad position, all things considered. I mean, it's a position of great honor within the society. It's certainly helping to protect people, and it's relatively low stakes when things are not hitting the fan, you know what I mean? It was an odd feeling, all at once. It's sort of like manning the self-checkout. Well, I'm not sure I entirely follow the comparison. Are we comparing shoppers to beasts? To enemies? Not much to do until shit hits the fan? Fair enough. It could also be considered like a maintenance position. The feeling of being where I had always dreamed of being. Is this really it? Thus, the day began to slip by. I don't recall how long it had been, but eventually we were sitting in a comfortable silence. True to their word, we simply rested and watched. At one point, the three attempted to give me tips on swordplay, but found themselves too lazy to demonstrate physically. Bunch of backseat gamers. Thus the conversation came and went as the hours slid past. The four of us sat around the fire, which had been lit now, in the growing shadow of the evening. I was strangely lethargic, and an old granny tips a gallon of paint sideways to scan the barcode, and all hell breaks loose, and you have to take out an enemy of this day. Wait, hold on, what was that last part? Hold on, you slipped that in at the very end. Was that last bit about the enemy of the state? I don't know. The fact that they're called ancestors keeps coming into my mind. That's so interesting. Is this like where they send the dead? Is it like a zombie thing? Where it's like they... That is very Underworld-esque of like, this is the place where all of the dead people go. You cannot go in or else you are considered dead. And that if something comes out, we have to stop it. Like, that's kind of cool. That's a cool idea. I was strangely lethargic. I'd expected to be exhausted, but instead I was relaxed. Something dawned on me just then. Glancing quickly at the looming doorway of the well, I turned to Tala with a question. Hey, the doorway. Can we not just close it? It looks heavy, but with a dozen wound bearers, maybe. Or, oh, we could make some sort of boulder with archimancy and seal it up. I wondered the same thing on my first day. The Ashan insist we keep it open, actually. Yeah, nah, there's something going on here. I'm getting, like, the Giver vibes. Right? That's what I'm getting from this. I'm getting, like, the village elders have some, like, dark secret that they're concealing from the rest of the village. That's the impression that I'm getting. If anyone has read The Giver, that's this to me. I suppose in the past they tried closing it. Apparently it didn't deter the ancestors even a little. They just gather behind the door. All at once, dozens of them pushed their way through and very nearly made it into the settlement. We lost a lot of wound bearers doing it that way. Alright, that's actually a fairly sensible objection. Waiting for the ads to end so the people can come back. 2, 1. Ad break ended. Your community is back. Welcome back, community. I'm glad the ad break ended. Alright, so I'm getting Giver vibes. Like The Giver, the book by Lois Lowry. I'm getting those sorts of vibes from this setup. And apparently, they had tried closing the doors, but that just led to a huge buildup of ancestors on the other side of the door. And then when it eventually, that critical mass burst through, they had to deal with all of them at once. And very nearly they made it to the village. So it's actually kind of sensible for them to keep it open and just, like, deal with the drip feed of ancestors that might come out, one at a time. So if we keep it open, they come one at a time and we can pick them off easier. As far as we can tell, they don't coordinate their efforts at all. I see. That's smart. Hey, Aram? Yeah. I've got a question as well. Why were you assigned so early? Yeah, I was wondering the same. Seems odd they picked you out to advance early, no? I'm not really sure why. It's not unheard of. Advancing early, I mean. At least when it comes to wound bearing. The Ashan wanted to see me all of a sudden, and they decided, well, that I would become a sentry and start immediately. I guess they saw some serious potential or something. Or they know something bad's on the horizon. Now I'm expecting a lot with a story like that. I'll try not to disappoint. I am afraid I'm going to disappoint. I'm playing this on story mode. Hey, how long have you all known each other? So does this mean you never get PTO? I think probably not. Well, so we don't even have money in this society. We barter for everything, which is weird, like anthropologically speaking. But, you know, maybe it's just something easy for the devs to deal with. We barter for all of our things in this society. So, I don't know, maybe they would give us like cloth for time off. I don't know. It doesn't feel like something they would do. Too long. Shut up. But he's right. Kyan and I have been friends for a long time. Yeah, we met in General Ed. I'm sure you have a few friends like that too. It's hard not to find common ground with somebody when you're forced to see every day, right? Time to head off. Thank you for the stream and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for stopping by, Kixie. Have a good rest of your day as well, and good luck on the stream. As always, I probably still going to be playing Frog Detective, or have you finished that already? Either way, have a good stream. Good luck with whatever it is that you're playing. If it is Frog Detective, I hope you enjoy, because that is a very cute, fun game. And as always, stay true to yourself. Thank you, thank you. Always nice to see you around. Still playing Frog? Oh yeah, you're gonna have a good time then. Have fun. It's a cute game. It's hard not to find common ground with somebody you're forced to see every day, right? Yeah, I know what you mean. I suppose I'm the odd one out in this group. I met Kyan and Rayash about a year ago when I was assigned to this shift. But if you can't leave the well, can you leave to see Homegrown? No, this is the thing, is that my shift is only from like mid-afternoon to sunset. There are other teams of sentries, I think. That's the impression that I got. So like I'm not here all day, every day. It's just a shift that I'm taking. I could be wrong, maybe I misinterpreted that, but that's the impression that I got. Don't sell yourself short, Tala. You're a lot more interesting than Kyan. What the hell? I know it doesn't seem like it, but I think we all get along pretty well. I guess. It's nice to have a new face. I'm sure you'll fit right in. Thanks, Kyan. I appreciate it, really. I'm still, I'm just happy to finally be here, even if I'm not a journeyman yet. Thank you for your kindness so far. Of course. The conversation dwindled once more, and the four of us continued to pass the time resting. I tried to stay vigilant and keep myself seated in such a way that I could quickly get up and have my weapon in hand, but before long I was leaning against the wall comfortably. I nearly grew drowsy when laughter pulled me from my daze. I came to and listened in. Kyan and Rayash were sitting a few feet away, engaged in what seemed like a scandalous conversation. There's no way, I don't believe you. Kyan's voice was emphatic. Well, it's true, Rayash replied confidently, leaning back and putting a hand behind his head. I don't need you to believe me because it happened. Bullshit. You kissed Nithya? Kyan sounded incredulous. Rayash gave a sultry smile. More than that, young Kyan. We've been meeting after my shifts for a few weeks. Yeah, no, okay, it's definitely, they're just on shift. This isn't fair, groaned Kyan, falling backwards in defeat. How is it that you can land a beautiful girl and I can't? You've got the personality of a clay bowl. What can I say? Women are simply drawn to me, Rayash said, his ego blinding. Rayash suddenly turned, shooting me a dirty grin. By the way, Aram, you've got a girl, right? The question caught me completely and utterly off guard. My mind immediately went to Sachita. Her face flashed through my head as I thought about the question. I imagined her lips. No, not yet, I said, frantically thinking of a way to change the subject. Nah, you've already revealed too much. You've already revealed too much. Not yet. Kyan chimed in. No? Any girl you've got your eye on? Maybe. I'm not sure, I replied, avoiding their gaze. I couldn't possibly tell them how I had had my eye on one girl for as long as I could remember. Never mind that the girl was Sachita of all people. Fortunately, Tala broke in and saved me with a sharp remark. I'm sure he's asking because he's worried he has competition. I can't imagine Nithya is too committed to that relationship, knowing Rayash. At this, Kyan erupted into laughter. I followed suit, happy to distract from my non-answer. We all laughed, Rayash too. We laughed, and we laughed. Oh! Chad, I think something's about to go down. That looks mechanical. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. And then... Scoob, look out! Kyan wasn't laughing. Long black metal fingers slowly clasped around his face and neck. Pressing into his skin with razor-sharp ends, small streaks of blood began to seep between its fingers. There was no sound for a moment. I simply watched, unable to understand what was happening. In a single moment, his body was lifted from the ground. He was held by... something. Huh, okay, so not zombies. That's definitely not a zombie. Time loop? I don't think so. Time loop? Where'd you get the time loop impression? I mean, just the fact that it's mechanical? I don't know. They're not zombies, that's for sure. A tall creature stood behind us on the grass. Its body was stark white. Its limbs were black like ink. Its jaw hung agape, filled with small rows of serrated razors. It made no noise. Kyan began to struggle as the creature pressed its hands tighter around his neck and face. Screaming, Kyan flailed his legs and arms wildly. Did nobody see this thing coming? Some centuries we are. His screams quickly became choked. There was a sharp sound, and Kyan let out a gasp. My face was warm suddenly. His body fell to the grass softly. Frozen, I watched. Kyan's eyes were gone. Oh! Sorry, I think I somehow rewound the stream, and I don't know if I'm still off by a few seconds. Okay, if you go to the bottom right corner, you might be able to see a small thing that says live. If you click on that, it'll bring you back to the live feed. Otherwise, you can always just do a Marco Polo test in chat. Kyan's eyes were gone. Okay, so it took his eyes and probably killed him in the process. Simply missing. One of his ears was gone as well, lying on the grass beside his head. His screams transformed into long, labored moans. Kyan writhed around on the ground, blood oozing from his mouth, nose, and eyes. I was unable to speak or call out. Rayash leapt to his feet. Standing, he held his blade tightly in one hand. Kyan? Rayash asked quietly, the shock visibly washing over him like a cold fever. Kyan! Suddenly he was shouting. I heard Tala's voice behind me, racked with panic. It moved so quietly. How did this happen? Alright, so we're getting a good sense of size here. They're about twice our size. Except that's crouched down, so probably we can estimate a third. We're a third of its size. That's really not good. Tala leapt to his feet, his own spear now in hand. The creature tilted its head and began to advance, moving silently through the grass. It seemed to glide upon its slender limbs, clicking softly as the joints rotated. Rayashe still stood between the creature and Tala and myself. His blade was outstretched, pointed ahead. Kyan moaned softly on the ground. The way I would quit this job ASAP. Yeah, day one, it's supposed to be like this super chill, barely anything ever happens, and then day one, you watch your coworker get murked from behind by a silent mechanical assassin. I would never turn my back towards the door, at the very least. In the midst of it all, I sat and watched. My entire body shook, and my stomach felt like ice water. What's happening? I tried to think about my training. What was my training again? When a person is injured, I'm supposed to... Tala! Rayashe called out, and I heard quick footsteps move away from me. Tala ran right, his spear in hand, trying to flank the creature. It slowly turned its head, watching Tala approach. At that moment, Rayashe lunged forward. His blade glinted in the evening light as it made an arc from head to toe. There was the sound of metal upon metal, and the creature recoiled as the blade connected with its head. Tala drew closer, but it reacted swiftly. One of its long arms shot out at Rayashe. Oh, there goes a hand. It was a sickening sound. Instantly, Rayashe's arm was gone from the elbow up. Blood poured from the wound, dripping from the hanging tendon and splintered bone. He collapsed, screaming. There was a dull thud. The arm landed by my feet. I'm supposed to treat the wound. I tried to come to my feet, but stumbled and fell. I can't look. There was the sound of metal striking metal once more. I heard another scream, and the sounds of struggle. Also not good. I tore my head upward to see Tala's spear, stuck partially in the creature's narrow torso, fall to the ground. Tala was now held, its slender arms wrapped around his body. He struggled. The creature made as if to lift Tala off the ground, but suddenly it seemed to freeze. It tilted its head and made a low clicking noise. Suddenly, the creature began to shake erratically. Its limbs vibrated, and its head rotated to an unnatural angle. But then, its claws contracted. Digging into Tala's back, he cried out in pain. The creature still held him firmly, but it was dragging him towards the doorway, the great stone mouth of the well. I could barely lift my head to watch. I didn't want to look. Tala's face was pale, and his limbs hung loosely to his sides. The grass was streaked red as the tall creature pulled him further and further towards the doorway. He gave me a look. Then, "Aram," he said softly. And then they were gone. Well, that was a pretty shitty first day. I was lying there, still, in that spot where I had sat by the fire. Jump on in, cowboy. All right, so I was right that somebody would get pulled into the well. But yeah, no, I don't suspect we're going to jump in after Tala. I feel like it would really take Sachita being pulled in for us to go. In that spot where I had sat by the fire, I hadn't moved an inch. I don't recall how much time had passed, but I stood. Can I treat anyone and their wounds? Rayashe probably would have survived unless he bled out. Rayashe? Are you... Rayashe? Rayashe? Oh, I think he probably bled out. Rayash, please say something. Okay, that's probably not a good sign, medically speaking. I'm no doctor. Kyan? 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 Yeah, no, he is... Will you say something? Will it let me go in? Huh? I didn't think that it would... that it would do that. I stumbled across the grass. My sandals felt wet. I looked down and saw that my toes were red. Still, it hung open. The doorway to the well. That's where Tala is. He was taken. Maybe Tala is still alive? Maybe. If I go after him, I can save him? But it's the well. The well. I know what I've been taught. I know what they told me. If I go in the well, I'll die. Nobody will rescue me. I'll die, and my head felt hot and my stomach felt light. I bent at the waist and was quietly sick. Let's do this. Into the well. I feel like at the very least we like go back to town and like gather supplies if we're gonna go and do a rescue mission. If I do this, am I going to die? I won't see my family again. Anybody. So why shouldn't I just run away? I stood and looked at the doorway. I noticed that it was a staircase. A staircase, and it went down. Down into the ground. I stepped forward. If I do this, I'll be throwing it away. My life. Everything I've worked for. What am I about to do? I was at the edge of the door. If I don't do this, I won't be able to live with myself. If I don't do this, I've been lying to myself. Rayash and Kyan, they're dead, and I did nothing. Otherwise, what have I been doing for 12 years? What am I about to do? I'll walk away right now. Nobody will know what happened besides me. I mean, you're probably gonna have to tell people that the sentries got killed. I'll walk away right now. How will I show my face to Sachita ever again? Don't look at me like that. Hi, Dids. How's it going? Our first day on the job was real bad. All of our coworkers got killed, except one who got abducted and dragged into the earth through the forbidden well. Sprinkle some crack on him? That's not gonna help. We're dealing with something way beyond crack at this point. We're dealing with, like, mechanical skeleton monsters. I don't think they care whether the person has crack on them or not. Why are they called ancestors? That's still strange. No, there's definitely something weird going on this island. I'll walk away right now. I'll walk away. What am I about to... I'm about to... Mechanical skeletons, yes, but not humans. Some other type of creature. My legs felt like they were moving on their own. I'm going to try, Tala. I'm going to try and save your life. And in the process, I'm going to die. Okay, well, can I leave? Oh, it won't let me. It won't let me leave. I think these mechanical skeletons are good people. All right, so I'm noticing some other electronic devices on the wall here. Some circuitry. Some breaker panels. This looks like an electric light. So yeah, no, there's definitely some sort of like technological phenomena going on beneath our feet. Give them your flesh? I mean, they certainly need it. Or do they need it? They seem to be doing perfectly well on their own. Surface stairway. Yeah, I'm gonna save. And if I go here... No active quests. Sure. Fracture, concussion, electrocution. Interesting. I think those are magic stats, but we haven't gotten to that yet. What do I have on me? Sachita's ring. They want you, they want you, they want you as the new recruit. I mean, I could try out for mechanical skeleton status, but frankly, I don't think I'm up to snuff. My skeleton is very non-mechanical. A traditional ring, hand cast by Sachita. One of many small wooden trinkets she's given you. It reminds you of her. Did that give me stats? Slightly increases maximum health. You know what, actually? Equip. Absolutely I am using that because God knows I can use maximum health. Materials. I think those are all just the same as what I had. Alright. So I've got a little bit more health. The staircase ended. I came to a large room. The ceiling was low. It was dark. The space was odd, empty and wide, yet it felt small. There was a faint light ahead of me. I saw a red trail. It's this way. Oh, this is a big old place. That looks like a door. I'm not comfortable with that. It's definitely a bit... Counterattacks. Blocking consecutive enemy attacks will sometimes allow Aram to perform a counterattack. Pay attention to the green counter meter beside Aram in combat. Blocking any enemy attack will fill the counter meter by a small amount, but perfectly blocking will fill it by a large amount. Once the meter is full, Aram will immediately launch into a counterattack, usually interrupting the enemy's combo. This attack comes out quickly, but will allow you to get in extra damage without spending stamina, as well as deal maximum damage regardless of range. That's useful to know. I don't like how you're telling that to me now. I entered a vast space. Vast. The largest room I had ever seen. To both of my sides was a great drop, the bottom of which was so far away that I couldn't see it. Oh, we're in a mega structure. That's cool. This is a big underground place. My breathing grew rapid, and I felt my hands begin to shake even more so than they already were. The space, so vast and so unfamiliar. This will be the place where I die. It's ahead of me. Alright, we having a fight? We're gonna fight about this? Actually, it occurs to me. Do bandages... A crude but effective aid for wounds. Restores health passively for a few turns in battle. Can I not? Oh, okay. I guess I'll do that. I'll have that in there in case I need healing. Good to know. This place is huge, and there you are. This is definitely giving, like, Blom vibes. Like, spelled blame, but with an exclamation point. The creature stood motionless ahead. We were upon a great bridge. And there was Tala. He was lying face down, unmoving. The creature faced away from me. It seemed to perch over Tala's body. I stood and watched. My hands are shaking. Knees weak. Arms are heavy. Mom's spaghetti. I felt for my weapon. Father's words went through my head. I have to destroy it. Is Tala still alive? I took a step forward, and suddenly the creature turned to face me. No. This is an ancestor. It began to click softly. I realized then that its sleek white face bore a deep scar. Its torso was similarly marked by Tala's spear. So that's why it didn't already kill me. They damaged it. It may be enough. Alright, I get the feeling this is going to be our first actual battle. Enough that I may live through this. I raised my weapon, an apprentice's sword. And suddenly I was running forward. Oh, I missed it. Oops. Oh, wow. That's a big hit. Alright, I need a bandage. Ugh. Alright, I got about halfway through his health on the first try. That's not bad for a first go. Arm was killed. Alright, I'm back at camp. Alright, let's see if we can't optimize a little bit here. I definitely... Oh, and I got the extra health boost from having the ring. That's nice. So, I'll have you... Oh, you're already equipped. The missing materials, oh, there's Archimancy. Alright. I don't think anything else will be useful here, item-wise. You're already equipped, I think. Yep. Shield, that's as good as I've got. Sword is as good as I've got. Fairly certain all of this is already equipped, as far as I can tell. Yeah, that's what I've got. Okay, well, that's nice to know, is that they don't reset your clothing when you die, or your equipment. So you don't have to constantly reset those. So we're just going to keep trying until I get this right. I might have to go a little bit quiet when I'm concentrating, but... hello? What is that? Okay. Oh, I think I got whatever that was. I think it was like recouping stuff. Ugh, I keep missing those, but it's fine. Oh, come on. Oh, I need to, like... Okay, no. I think I'm forgetting key aspects of the dodging mechanic. Alright. We're getting closer and closer. I think I am losing whatever barter currency that I have. I don't know exactly what I'm picking up. Ooh, all right, not bad. Not bad, team. I was at 1 helm. Jesus Christ. All right, I think I'm slowly getting the hang of this. Not to the extent that I can talk while I'm battling, but definitely getting the hang of this. I stood, breathing heavily. My weapon felt heavy in my hands. Is it dead? I mean, it shattered into a bunch of pieces, so it's at least easier to deal with now than it was. There was a sound then, low and repetitive. It's my heart. No, it's... On unsteady feet, I stumbled forward to where Tala lay. I tried to say something, to speak his name. I tried, and nothing came. I bent to reach for him and fell to my knees. I placed both hands, now free, on his back. The sound returned, and it rang in my ears. It grew louder. I tried to drag Tala inch by inch. I tried to drag him back towards the stairs. He was heavy and cold. Tala's dead already, isn't he? The sound grew deafening in my ears. I stopped and let my hands fall to my sides, and I looked up. I looked up for the first time and truly considered the place I currently was. This is the well. Like a satiated hunger, the noise suddenly went away and left me in ringing silence. All that remained was the hollow quiet of the enormous space surrounding me. Like the sky above the settlement on a cloudless day, the ceiling stretched beyond sight. This place. It's below us? This place, greater than the settlement by 1,000-fold, merely from where I stood. This place from which the ancestors come is right below our feet. I felt my body begin to shake. I tried to reason with it, to understand what it all meant. How something like this was possible, how something so horrible sat beneath us. It can't be. Why is it here? What is its purpose? This is why I was chosen to become a sentry? To prevent anything in this place from crossing over into our peaceful island? I thought about it. I thought about my dreams of being a journeyman. I would be a temple guard, confidently protecting the settlement under the warm sunlight. I would be by Sachita's side when she needed me. But instead, I'm here. Those old dreams seem so childish now, faced with such monumental darkness. The overwhelming feeling grew, and I felt like lying down. However, out of the corner of my gaze, I noticed Tala's body stir. It was slight, perhaps a shallow breath. The motion was enough to tear my eyes from the vast space above me and regain my attention once more. What was I doing? I had something I was doing. Tala! He's still alive. Gripping him tightly once more, I pulled with all my strength. Slowly, I pulled him towards the long staircase. I wonder what everyone's reaction is going to be to us entering and then pulling someone out of the underworld. Because that's sort of how I'm conceiving of this well. I don't know why it's called the well, but my memory of what happened next is fuzzy. Suddenly, I recall being in the courtyard at the settlement's edge. The last of the light still kept in the sky. I heard voices, a cry of shock. And quickly, y'all are about to have the craziest secret. Listen, you're not gonna believe this, but I was technically dead, or at least socially dead, and now I'm here again. And quickly, Father was there. I recall his arms around me. Then he was holding Tala. I recall being taken to the temple. I recall my mother's cries of fear. Her arms were around me too. Somebody tried to ask me something. Okay, so like they didn't immediately kill me. That's good. Like they brought me to the temple, fine. I assume I'm gonna get an earful about this, but they didn't immediately kill me after coming out of the well. Aram, it's time to lock in. This is good. This is the worst case scenario is not come to pass. Aram, can you hear me? I nodded. Oh boy. That is Sachita. Sometime later, I sat very still and looked down at my hands. My mother was there too. She held me close. Aram, she spoke very softly. Oh, that might just be my mom, not Sachita. Aram, love, you need to go to sleep. I tried to say something in response. Nothing came out. I shook my head. I felt her shift, moving her hands on top of my own. Can someone please treat me? I'm at 1 health. I cannot go on like this. She flinched, pulling away for a short instant. My hands were still as cold as ice. They were as cold as the well. Why don't we say a prayer? A prayer for the 2 we lost. I nodded. I'd be curious to hear the prayer, actually. That would be very interesting information. That day, the last day of my long apprenticeship, and the first of my days as a journeyman. Only 2 homeboys alive? It seems he's alive. We pulled him out of hell. That's got to give us some brownie points, right? Like, they can't be all that mad at me for, like, literally going into hell and pulling somebody back out. Obscene aura farming. monumentous. They might write songs about me, or they're going to be mad at me. Maybe both. These things can happen. I fell fitfully into dreamless sleep while my mother whispered a quiet prayer. A prayer for two now dead I had met only a short few hours ago. As my eyes grew heavy, the adrenaline finally subsided. I pictured the vast, quiet, empty darkness that lay beneath our feet. Of all the images now seared into my eyes and my memories of the previous day, Kyan's body crumpled on the grass, stained a dark crimson red. Rayash, face down, lying next to the remains of his own arm. The one that I saw as I drifted towards unconsciousness was the overwhelming vastness of the space. It was in my head, and it wouldn't go away, as if the well itself was calling to me. Can I please get a health kit? It began as feelings of heat. Dry, smothering heat. This wasn't where I was supposed to be. It looked like my old classroom, but I knew it wasn't. Pale orange light streamed in. It felt hot on my skin. My throat was dry. I tried to stand, but a voice froze me in place. You're not going to run away, are you, Aram? Run away. But I didn't. I didn't run away. I went after Tala. I went into the well. That's not what I mean. Now that you've seen that place, do you intend to hide from it? You should stream with an Xbox headset mic? Why so? Or a McDonald's drive-thru speaker? Just to mess up the audio so that it sounds like this the entire time? Is this what you want, Echo? Is this the stream experience that would make you happy? It'd be really funny. Well, look, we can mimic it if we really need to. If the impulse strikes us, I can do a pretty good McDonald's speaker impression. Do you intend to hide from it? Surely you won't be afraid to see it again. Again? Why would I? You did so well yesterday. You were so brave, Aram. I was? That's my weather boy. I only do space weather, thank you very much. Oh yes. And of course, who could forget a sight like the one you saw? Yes, I can see it clear as day. I can't keep my thoughts away from how it looked. Of course you can't, Aram. I know you're curious. I know that you want to know more. Yes. So, I'll ask again. Are you going to run away? I don't like that you had some claws in my dream. I feel like that was a sinister voice. Oddly, I woke early the next morning. I wasn't tired or sore. I woke with a strange clarity of some kind. My head felt full last night, full of sights and sounds. But it was empty now, and I began to think clearly. I'm in the temple? They brought me here, and not to the hospice. I am on 1 health. Please. Please send me to the hospice. Yes, of course. The Ishan will want to know what happened. And I'm the only one left alive. I mean, No. Mom said 2 last night. Only 2 had died. So he survived then. Tala. That's going to be good. If we can get Tala's testimony, he will corroborate a lot of what we will tell the Ishan. So that's good. We've got some corroboration on our side. Wait. The Ashan will want to know what happened. How it is that Tala was spared. And what my part in that was. Suddenly I felt fear flicker through my body. I'd forgotten. I broke a cardinal rule. I went into the well after Tala. I went into the one place we are forbidden to go. They warned me not to. What will they do if they find out? What if Tala already told them? I need to find him and make sure. It's early and I don't hear anybody outside. I should be able to sneak out of this room and look around. He must be somewhere close by. I remember that funny time you lied earlier? Yeah, to the insistent suitor. Maybe you should do that again. All right, I'm going to rest. I'm all healed up. There we go. Save. All's well. Perfectly fine. Repeat that. Do that again. Okay, I need to go upstairs. Go up. Enter. Peeking through the doorway, I finally caught sight of Tala. He was sitting up on his makeshift sleeping mats, looking out the window. Remembering the blood, I expected his injuries to be severe, but he seemed in relatively good shape, with only a few bandages wrapped around his chest. Noticing my presence, his eyes widened. Aram! My god! Aram, I'm really happy to see you. Tala, I was afraid that I thought you'd... How are you feeling? Huh? Honestly, I'm feeling okay, but never mind that. What happened yesterday... I don't remember all of it, but I do remember that you saved my life, Aram. You saved my life, and you could have just run away. I thought about it, honestly. But for some reason, I just couldn't do it. I understand. If I were in your place, I don't know if I would have made the same decision. But you did, and I'm eternally grateful. I had a good feeling about you. I knew I wasn't wrong to think that. Tala, Kayan, and Rayash. I know. At least, they're together now, in the sky. This never should have happened. What do you mean? An ancestor like that. I've never seen one so big. So big and undamaged. And of all the days, it appeared on your first day with us. I don't understand it either. But listen, Tala. I have something to ask you. I think I already know. Don't worry, Aram. I won't tell anybody what you did to save me. That's the very least I can do. I won't tell them you and I went down there. Really? Thank you, Tala. Yeah, no, provided he's telling the truth. Big W-mans. I feel like we have a bond with Tala. Of course. I should probably return. I imagine the Ashan will want to question me soon. Right. Rest well. We'll speak soon, Aram. I began to walk out the door, wanting to return to my room before they found me seemingly missing. But just then I stopped. Suddenly, in the back of my mind, there was a question. It was a request, something that I desperately wanted to ask Tala. It kind of helps that if he squeals on us, he's also squealing on himself. This is also true. He did also enter the well, not of his own free will, but still, he was technically considered socially dead, so... I have to imagine that, like, the Ashan know, at least in some measure, what's going on in there. Or down there? It seemed illogical, insane even. Yet somehow, the thought of the well returned. The desire to make sense of what I had seen. Empty darkness beneath our island of blessings. It came out suddenly. Tala, yesterday, in that place, in the well, didn't it make you wonder? Wonder? Aram, what are you talking about? It was so vast and empty. Why is it there? I don't know. And I don't need to know. It doesn't matter. Listen, Tala. Don't you want to know more? How such a horrible thing could be beneath us? Where it is the ancestors come from? No. I know everything I need to know about ancestors. They killed 2 of my friends. He's got that well smell on him. Ugh. Can't let him back in. So egregious, so gauche. I know, but I want to know more. Aram, sorry. I should get back. I think the Ashan will want to speak with me soon. Okay. Tala is alive. Quest completed. After leaving Tala's room, I returned to my own, feeling somewhat relieved. Tala was the only other person who knew what had happened, so the true events of yesterday were a secret for now. But once I stood before the Ashan, would they remain that way? A short time passed, and I rested, and eventually I was stirred by a messenger entering the room. Bowing and asking me to follow, we walked the short distance to the chamber of the Ashan. For a second time, in only a day, I was walking into this dimly lit room, unsure of what was to come. As I entered, I noticed my father standing to my left. Anxious and uncertain of what was to come, I turned my head instinctively to look at him. For as long as I could remember, I looked to my father when I was afraid. Calm and collected always, his presence was reassuring. He didn't seem that calm right now, based on the illustration. Yet as I turned to face him, the expression on his face was a fear that dwarfed even my own. There were bags under his eyes, and the lines of his face were creased with worry. As soon as I came to a stop, the Ashan began to speak. It was Ashan Jaya first. Aram. 2 journeyman sentries have been killed. The 3rd was dragged from the garden, unconscious and with many injuries. So we call it the garden, huh? Interesting. We have an ad in 3 minutes, everybody. Brace yourselves for that. By you, Aram. He paused and let the words wash over the spacious room. This can only be the result of an ancestor attack. Aram, please tell us, what happened? I stood in silence for a short moment, trying to decide how to describe exactly what had happened. What could I even say? How could I describe my cowardice? Sitting there doing nothing as the ancestor killed Kayan and Rayash. I managed. It's as you said. An ancestor appeared, suddenly. It moved silently, and Kayan and Rayash, I stopped, unable to put into words the horrible forms their bodies made lying upon the grass. In the brief silence, my father interrupted, his voice severe. Please, Ashana, why must he be forced to speak of these things? We already know that an ancestor is responsible for the death of 2 children of the island. Ashan Jaya raised his hand to call for silence. Ashadar, please, he said firmly. We understand the fear that you feel for your son. But Aram has done something remarkable, don't you see? Even in the face of such horrors. Allow him to speak. My father opened his mouth as if to say something more, but quickly closed it, casting his eyes downward. Okay, so they appear to be impressed. This is good. They don't appear, at least, immediately angry about it. We do have the aura on our side, at least a little bit. I started again. Suddenly, it was holding Tala tightly with its hands, and then I stopped. And then what? I can't tell the truth. I can't. So then, I'm going to lie. I'm going to lie to the Ashan. Even 1 day ago, I don't think I could have even entertained such an idea. But now, I took a short breath. I turned away for a short moment, and that's when I made my move. Kayan and Rayash, they had already damaged it. They died, so I could have a chance to win. So I attacked, and it ran away, back into the well. Stopping abruptly, I lowered my head. The thought of my lie now out in the open filling me with dread. All right, we're probably going to have an ad in a couple seconds. Yep, there it is. All right, I'm going to take a sip of water so that nobody misses anything. Ugh. This is a really terrible situation we're in. The fact that we're having to lie to the village elders is not less than ideal, to be sure. But I can't get a gauge on what their opinion of all of this stuff is, or how much they know, how they would feel if they knew that I had entered the well. I mean, surely that's like a myth of some kind to, prevent people from wandering into the well, but how seriously do the leaders take it? I don't know. The room was silent for a brief moment. Ishan Jaya broke the silence. Aram, please, he said. Raise your head. Your actions yesterday were nothing but brave. You did your duty to the settlement and fulfilled your obligation as a wound-bearer. And in the process of defending us from the ancestor threat, you managed to save the sacred life of a fellow child of the sun. Shocked at his words, I slowly raised my head as instructed. You must realize, Aram, you are not to blame for the death of Kayan and Rayash. Is that really true? I nodded very slowly. No, Ishan Jaya said. It is clear that you have been blessed, Aram. God has given you his blessing, and for that reason you prevailed. A chorus of agreement rang out from the other Ashan. I see now that we were not wrong to give you the role of sentry, nor begin your time as a journeyman early. They didn't even question my words. They believe what I said. I suppose it's not entirely false. What happens now? Yeah, I mean, no matter what, he is incredibly brave, and he did save somebody's life. And he did defeat the ancestor. So, the only thing that's really a lie is the bit about him going into the well to do it, which itself takes a bit of bravery, I think. I mean, he thought he was just gonna die and never come back out. That's he still did it to save somebody else's life. My father spoke out once again. I don't understand. Aram is to return to his post as sentry? Even having scarcely survived such a horror? Elder Jaya smiled then, genuinely. Of course, Ashadar. Look at what your son has already done for our island in such a short time, he said proudly. He is blessed by God. My father said nothing in return. looking at me in shock before turning away for the last time. But of course, you may take as much time as you need to recover physically and mentally before your return. Please send a messenger to us when you are ready. I found myself at a loss for words. After a pause, I gave a weak bow and tried to respond. Thank you, I said quietly. I'll need a short while to think things through. Ishan Jaya nodded. Of course. I'm gonna need 20 years minimum. I'm gonna need a year-long sabbatical, at the very least. Thus, the meeting ended. My father bowed and left rapidly, without so much as a word or a look in my direction. Hey, I feel like we should probably go tell Tala the story that we just told the elders so that he can corroborate it correctly. He'd been acting so strangely ever since our meeting with the Ishan yesterday. Even now, why won't he say anything to me? I want him to explain this to me, to tell me that everything will be okay. What's happening? That question, along with many others, swirled in my head as I returned to my temporary room. I stepped into the hallway, rubbing my eyes, and saw two familiar faces. It was Sachita and my mother. Thank God. Some friendly faces. My heart dropped. How much did Sachita know about what happened? Sachita noticed me first, and immediately her eyes widened in shock. Aram! Sachita called out, running forward and stopping just short of me. She put out her arms as if to embrace me, but stopped and quickly pulled them back. As much as I could tell she wanted to, touching a man or woman who wasn't also a Sunlight Maiden was publicly forbidden. Aram, she said, her voice choking. Oh, that's interesting, because we have, held hands with her, basically. So that was a little bit scandalous on her part. Aram, she said, her voice choking. She sounded as though she was holding back tears. I think she is. I heard that something happened, and I just... She shook her head emphatically. I thought that maybe you were hurt, Aram, and I... My mother came up behind us, slowly. She put her hand on Sachita's shoulder. It seemed my mother hadn't told Sachita very much. It's okay, Sachi. I'm not hurt at all. How are you feeling today, my love? I'm doing fine, Mom. Really? Are you really not hurt? I'm okay. You don't need to worry. Thank God. I was so afraid, Aram, that something might have happened to you. I don't know what I would do. Sachi, really. I'm fine. I was doing my duty to the settlement. That's all. But... Sachita, love, why don't we let him rest for now? Oh. I'm sorry. You must be exhausted. Only a little. Of course. Take your time. I'll come and find you really soon, okay? Sure, Sachi. Oh, and Mom? Did you see where Dad went? I'm not sure. I see. He won't speak to me at all. He's been acting strangely. I wouldn't worry, dear. He's been under a lot of stress this past day. It's a lot for his father when his son finally advances, no? And of course, he was worried about you too. All right. I'll see you soon, Mom. You too, Sachi. Mm-hmm. Am I gonna get the chance to, get some affairs in order before I go back to my post? I returned to my temporary room and sat. I sat putting my head on my knees, thinking, what am I going to do now? The Ishan told me I was blessed. They praised me for what I did. How can a person who saw what I saw be blessed? That conversation with Sachita just now, even from what little she heard, she was afraid for me, for my life. I can't have that. I can't have her be afraid for me. Never again. This isn't how it was supposed to go. No. This is the opposite of how it was supposed to go. I need to show her that I'm strong, that I won't back down from anything. At the same time, I can't get the image of that place out of my head. The well. Why is it there? Why do the ancestors emerge and terrorize us? After being there, wrapped in its dark emptiness, how could somebody walk away and forget having seen that? Then, it's obvious what I need to do now. I'll go back to work right away. Tonight, no matter what anyone says. Before I have to face anyone else, not Kanari or Prava, I'll complete a full shift as sentry before I show my face to them again. I'll go back and make sense of this. Maybe that's why my father is so distant. He doesn't think I can handle it after what happened. I feel like Aram is radically misunderstanding the state of affairs right now. I think he thinks this is all about him and his cowardice or bravery. I think people know more than they're letting on, and Aram is woefully underinformed. I should find a messenger and tell Ashan that I'm ready. Sitting up, I scanned the room. However, out of the corner of my eye, I noticed a pile of items on the floor to my left. What are those? Inspect. Wound kit. Oh. These are wound kits. I took one from the pile and held it with both hands. It was an object I was well accustomed to, recalling my medical training. It was the sort of thing all journeyman wound bearers carried alongside them in case of emergency. Aram is going to die via 10,000 goons. I think probably... I think I'm not cool. My reputation is ruined. They think I'm a weakling. Meanwhile, a horde of scurrying machines in a megastructure beneath us churns, and everyone knows that except us, somehow. The sort of emergency I had been in yesterday. I suppose they hadn't thought to give me one yet. It had been my first day, after all. But I'm gonna need one now. I should go find a messenger and tell them I'm ready to return. Inventory and equipment. Aram will frequently come across items or equipment that may prove useful in many circumstances. You can access your inventory by pressing B at any time to view all collected items as well as your current equipment. Aram's inventory is divided into two categories: loadout and equipment. The loadout tab lets you change out Aram's weapons and combat items, while the equipment tab lets you change out Aram's clothing and accessories. The wound kit you just obtained, as well as any consumable item, can be equipped under the loadout tab for use in combat. Select the wound kit under the All Items tab, choose Equip, and pick one of the 3 combat item slots. Alright. I will do this. Wound kit, equip, combat items, good. A messenger and let them know what you want to do. Alright. That is where we will have to end for today. Holy moly. Yeah, this game is really kicked off. I had a suspicion that there was a dark undertone to this place, but I was not expecting it to be literally underneath us, and also that there's some type of mechanical megastructure involved. The world building in this game is fantastic, and I'm very excited to see more. But that will have to wait for next time. Let's see who we can raid. Who is around on Twitch? Let's see. Kixie is live still, so let us go and raid Kixie. Kixie was in stream earlier. They just got started off, I think. They're, what? They're about half an hour into stream? Cool. So we can head over that way and say hi. I will get raid messages out for anybody who wishes to grab one. Grab any that you like. I'm going to grab this one today because it feels appropriate for the sort of otherworldly force that we've encountered. And we are going to... Oops. Why... Raid. Call me Kixie. Oh, and Ender. Hello. How are you? How are you doing? How you doing? I think we are getting ready to head out. Okay, so we're gonna be raiding Call Me Kixie, friend of the stream. Pops into chat quite frequently, and everyone go share the love. Thank you all for joining me for another episode of A Song of Sunlight. This is really cool. I like this game a lot. I'm very excited to see where this goes from here. I dig the religious themes. I dig the sort of weird megastructure horror elements of it. Fighting my models. Isn't it always the way? So we're going to be continuing with this game next time. I'm not sure if it'll be next week because I might be doing a prep for Ender's 24-hour debut-a-thon. So keep an eye out for that as well. Otherwise, it's going to be same time, same place, 1 p.m. EST here on this channel, the DJ Atomica. I hope to see you there. If not, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, a wonderful rest of your week, and as always, stay true to yourselves, everyone.